Lovely to meet you all. This is my first time at this conference, and you're very welcoming. This is a lovely, lovely place, so thank you for being so welcoming. My name's Andy Woods. I'm going to be talking about WhatsApp. The talk will go, I'll talk a little bit about me, and then I'll go through this tool we've been making. But I want to weave in what we've been talking about in the preceding talks. It's really relevant. So I want to be talking about how I use AI a lot in the development of all this software. And after that, I'd love to show you a live demo if there's time. So I'm going to plow ahead and hope we can get through to a live demo. So have I broken this when I threw it? No, I haven't. So I work in a university just west of London called Royal Holloway. And my boss won a huge grant, I think it was 75 million odd, to create a national lab for the creative industry. And this is research in all aspects of the creative industry and how to boost this in the UK. I'm a psychologist and I spent a number of years coding. I've got a slide on this. And my role within this infrastructure is both exploring the users and how they experience immersive and creative experiences, but it's also as well to explore it from an inclusive point of view as well. So I create software to explore the users. This is kind of my timeline. I'm very, very happy that I could spend time learning the code, and I just feel this is what is fundamentally me these days is coding, and I utterly love it. And I spend a lot of time using ChatGPT. We spent £20 for the subscription, and it wasn't enough. I was running out of credits for is it the 03 or 03 model? So last month we forked out for the £200 one, and I'm not. Well, we'll just see if we continue with that because it is rather expensive. So this project I'm going to be talking about is using WhatsApp to survey lots of people at the same time through their phones, and we're using this in this scenario for the purpose of inclusivity. So we're calling it RHUL, and there are other packages out there that do the same sort of thing. But what sets ours out differently is that ours is open source, and you'll hear more about our journey as well. Our focus is on inclusivity. So the plan we've been following is to recruit people who are, say, low vision or who have ADHD like myself, and we send them to a live gig in this scenario, and up until the point they reach the live gig, maybe we'll be sending them WhatsApp questions for them to answer. For example, did you have any difficulty finding this location? Were there issues of inclusivity when you arrived at the event? And then afterwards as well, we ask them questions about the experience. WhatsApp's pretty good because it works really well with assistive technologies, screen readers, for example, and all this infrastructure that already exists for people who have low vision, say, or who have other issues. It links with AI assistants, which is great. They're always introducing new features, for example, transcripts of voice messages. It's not so great in terms of the web. If you're using the web version of WhatsApp, the login procedure of using a QR code is not brilliant if you have low vision, really. So we can, through this tool, we can send people questions at pre-specified times or whenever we want, and people can reply back to us. They reply back to us through text, but also through whatever multimedia they want, be it video, be it speech, be it even a geographic location. And we're zooming through this talk, which is great, so we can get to do the live demo in a bit. But here we have an example of some of the multimedia that people are replying back with. So we have geographic location here. If you've ever used WhatsApp, you know there's a share location feature. It's kind of buried in there. You click on the attach button, and people can share their geographic location. And our tool can show us where they are when they took this, when they shared this information. This is I can't really show you data of running studies at the moment, but here's myself and a mate down the pub, and we got a video. We can also collect multiple choice question data and plot list live, aggregated in an aggregated fashion. So this is putting my psychology hat on. We're first of all using something called the experience sampling technique, and this is where you just ask questions whilst people are taking part in the experience. We are then doing an interview with the individuals and showing them the multimedia they provided to us, and we ask them to flesh out their thoughts when they shared that multimedia. And these are actually quite competing methodologies, but we're combining them in an unusual way through this project here. I'm an absolute geek, and I'm sure there are a couple of like-minded individuals in the audience. So this is great fun. So we're hosting the app. There'll be some cost information later on. We're hosting the app in a European server provider called Hetzner, and it costs about €5 a month. And it's really simple. It's a Python-based app. We had Fast API I mentioned earlier, someone in the previous talk, but this is a Django-based app, which is a technology I'm very, very keen on. We hold data in a Postgres database, and we store images and what have you on the server itself in Europe, not in America. We communicate to WhatsApp through Twilio. It just makes everything easier. It sits on top of the WhatsApp for Business, I think they call it. And it just makes it easier, and you don't have to faff around with some of Facebook's painful procedures to do anything. And we're using something called HTMX, which is massively geeky, and it's really popular though in the web dev world, because it just simplifies web dev to a ridiculous extent. And I must say that I made this app within. I spend 50% of my time on this sort of project, and it perhaps took a couple of weeks to make, and this was via ChatGPT. It would have taken me a good month to do this before. So anyway, this really simple series, this simple collection of technologies, web stack, was made really quickly thanks to our friend ChatGPT in this case. And I've actually started using a new one on the block from the JetBrains platform, and it's called Junie. It's been out for about a week now, or 2 weeks, and it is really powerful. So you're in your IDE, your programming integrated development environment or something like that. You open up a side window and you say, can you please create for me a web page using this project? And can you let the user, can I give the user a URL, and they go in and they enter their mobile phone number, and then once they've done that, can you send them a WhatsApp with the existing technology to link them all up within my system? And within maybe a couple of minutes, or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, this will go ahead, manipulate my files and provide sometimes a working solution to the problem. If not a working solution, it provides a solution which I can iterate on to develop, to fine tune and get to work. Anyway, do check out Junie if you like the JetBrains environment. Junie. Yeah, it's brand new. It's an alternative to Cursor. And JetBrains are an interesting company. They're European, and they seem to be a good company as opposed to some of the big boys who I'm less keen on. Okay, so I mentioned that I pay €5 a month. That should be euros a month for the server. I don't want to faff around setting up my server. So I spend $10 a month on something which does it all for me. It's got Docker under the hood, but it means that on this $5 server, I've got 4 or 5 different apps. So it's not $5. It's actually 50 cents that I'm paying for the hosting of this, and we also pay $5 a month for WhatsApp for business, and that's through Twilio, and that's renting the mobile number is the major expense, and that's €2 or €3. But we'll break it down in the next few slides. So there's some weird stuff going on with Facebook. They insist, you can try this out, there's a URL here, but we'll do it in the live demo. They insist that the very first interaction you have with someone costs about 5 cents. But this actually works for us because it's kind of like an ethical permission seeking, so that we ask the person, have you agreed to our ethical procedure? And when they click yes, then we can go ahead and interact with them properly. And then after that, for the entire day, you're paying a piffling amount of money to communicate with this person. And it scales, so there's some limits on the number of day-long conversations you can have with people, ranging from 250 up to 100K. And once you get up to 10K, you have to chat with Facebook to get their permission to do so. I mean, when you're just sending 5 people with low vision to an experience for a day, you're talking about fees which are less than 50 cents US dollars. But when you scale this up to say 10,000 people at a really big event, and maybe you're focusing here on other things besides inclusivity, maybe you're interested on assessing enjoyment at various times during the show, then things are still cheap, but they most certainly get more expensive. And you could be sneaky here, you see. So we're using WhatsApp for business, but you can actually use a bog standard phone's WhatsApp if you know what you're doing. So you could pretend, if you're sneaky enough, you might be able to use a SIM card which you've just linked to WhatsApp. But we're doing this utterly officially anyway because we're sponsored by the government. Anyway. It's a real shame, I can't really show you this data, but we sent some people who had low vision to an experience called Darkfield, and they took part in an experience. I'll just give you some context, what went on here. So a day or two before the experience, we chatted with them online. On the day itself, we started sending them questions. We didn't send them questions during the experience itself, we just didn't want to annoy them during that time. And then afterwards, we sent them questions, and then a day later, we did this reconstruction method interview with people. And because we're part of university, we need to get ethics for everything. So there we go. This is another thing that we did. So as part of my job, I'm involved in the creation of just weird and wacky stuff. And we got a, sorry, I'm distorting my voice when I put my hands up here, but we had a live Dungeons and Dragons session in front of what's called a VP stage, which is a massive, massive screen, maybe twice the size of this wall here. And we projected up onto that screen generated imagery from the live Dungeons and Dragons as it was going along. But we used this tool anyway to get people's rolling views about what was going on. So, for example, something boring, like are you enjoying this experience, or are you finding this style of imagery, are you finding it a good way of portraying what's going on in the live D&D session? So anyway, pros of using WhatsApp. You don't need to make bespoke apps for data collection, low barriers for users, costs are low, cons, proprietary, owned by Facebook, and customization is hard. Now, I kind of hoping we got time for a live demo. 5 minutes. 5 minutes, okay, let's try this. So if you want to scan this QR code here, this is probably too diddy to read, I'm afraid, sorry about that. You'll then be pinged on WhatsApp, and we can maybe, Andrew, would you mind alt-tabbing over to, so with the app that we've created on that €5 server, we've created a really, can you click dark mode, please? That's seems to be a rolling theme, but we created this is what we see. So if you wouldn't mind clicking ASC demo. Oh, if you wouldn't mind clicking dark mode, actually, I just can't see anything in dark mode. Let's scroll down. So we got lots of people who have already managed to click the WhatsApp that they were sent and to say you're cool with being interacted with in the future. Would you mind scrolling down to the very bottom? And so for every single person who's agreed so far, would you mind clicking send to all, please? So you're going to be sent the question, who is your favourite Scooby-Doo character? And would you mind zooming, could you go to, where's it gone now? Could you scroll to the very, very bottom? And just click on the live diary, combined diary, please. So the exciting things happen when you, if you could scroll down, then we'll see if you scroll down further, just to the very bottom, please. So here we go. So people rather keen on Scooby-Doo, and we have Shaggy-Doo. But things get more exciting when you start using that mobile WhatsApp chat to send multimedia. So I hope people don't mind me taking a really, really quick video. Zoom. And then click and send. Do feel free to send whatever you want. You can send your geographic location if you want. Andrew, would you mind going to the very, 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 very top here? So you might have noticed that we have comments later on. So in the interview after, we would ask people, what were they thinking during this situation? We would maybe ask for their assistance in categorizing their message via a tagging feature. I don't know what's going on, Andrew, but would you mind clicking refresh, please?
Yeah. It keeps refreshing itself.
Yeah, it does. It's a bit annoying. There's something buggy going on. And let me share my geographic location. But this is a really simple app, and it's just so easy to do stuff via ChatGPT and so quick to do it. We've extended on this. So there's a concept called unplatforming, where you try to do things as light as possible, cheaply, doing more for less. And would you mind tabbing back into the? So if you go down to, have I not mentioned? Maybe I've removed it. Doesn't matter. I must have removed it. It's unplatforming is when you rely on other hefty servers from third parties to do all the heavy lifting in your service that you're offering. So we're relying entirely on WhatsApp, and we've got a tiny little server doing our stuff. But another feature of this app I created it the other day, was to take all these multimedia and pipe them into Miro. And ping, 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 ping. This live data appears in Miro with very little effort via ChatGPT. It's almost as if the limitation is coming up with the idea, because it's not that, programming-wise, it's now not hard to do this sort of thing. It's just coming up, and Andrew mentioned this. You had two words, creativity and curiosity. That's what it is now, thanks to this. And anyway, just to mention that I've made loads of apps in my past. This was a platform where these are just different apps I've made with different technologies. Not that interesting. Would you mind scrolling down to let's go down to the very bottom. One more up, please. So this is through an absolutely wonderful group of people who I am a tiny cog amongst all these really, really wonderful people. And I thank them for being so awesome and helping me do stuff. So thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Andy. You're doing my job. I ask if anyone's got any questions. I have a question of what's next for it.
So I wouldn't mind. I'm tempted for this inclusivity tool to create a way for anybody to report issues of inclusivity or any experience they attend. Because I think it could be quite a powerful thing to allow people to communicate just to one mobile WhatsApp number, any issue they want. And because we've got geographic location, we can link up. I think that would be a very cool thing. But it's back to Andrew's two words, curiosity and the other one, it's whatever you can think of, really. And Miro, piping to Miro was a nice idea. We're taking away the burden. So we're almost taking away the need to have any database information at all on our $5 server. We can just pipe it straight into Miro. Brilliant. It's, stateless, as it were.
Okay. The floor, any questions? Yeah, Mike at the back.
Thanks, Andy. When you started, so before you built the tool, when you began, did you actually investigate the marketplace to see if there was anything that already did it?
Yeah, there are some, and I've learned some more today as well. This is a while back. I can't remember the outcome of that, but I do know of others that are using WhatsApp. We liked it because we could then go away and utterly customize it. Because we created this app ourselves, so it allowed us the ability to pipe in Miro or to inject some AI, and if we so wanted, and categorize what's in an image, or maybe do some automatic sentiment analysis on all the text that's provided to us. I mean, if you think about it, we could even pipe the data into Miro and pre-cluster relating concepts. It's the ability to use ChatGPT to create your own customized solution was just too appealing for us in this situation.
Excellent. Yep. Drone's go.
And a nice presentation. I know in research industry we don't have much good applications to conduct focus group surveys. So how far behind, or have you thought converting your app into something that we can easily conduct focus group questions or conduct surveys easily?
So we got one-on-one conversations between the people. Each of you had a conversation between the server and your phone. So maybe you could easily extend it to having more than one person a part of that conversation. That would lend to it. I do recall there's research they did where they used WhatsApp across multiple countries to ask young adults to discuss different concepts. So I guess that's focus groupy. It's a curious one, really. I always imagine focus groups of physical products. It's what my partner does, you see. In which case you couldn't really do that unless you incorporated some weird virtual reality situation. Just your imagination, though, again, is the answer. So.
Okay, a final question from anyone? Oh.
Hi, Andy. I suppose, again, just a general kind of view, it's such a lightweight thing, and then you're using something that everyone's already got in their pocket. Like, it was quite astounding, really, that within a minute of showing a QR code, quite a few people in this room then had access to participate in your research. And if you think about some of the other solutions which are out there, you have to download the app from the Play Store, and then you have to commit to, and it's already done. It's already in your pocket. And it's such a fast way of working, and people go, I get WhatsApp, done. It's just I think it's a really clever idea. I mean, not everyone likes WhatsApp, but it is good for what it does.
Utterly. It's the barrier to entry is very, very minimal. And you're not limited to WhatsApp. There's Telegram. So it's all about, if you wrapped up WhatsApp, you could easily introduce another element to replace it with and interchange between them just via a bit of coding. So. Oh, I do reach out. So I work in academia, so utterly, I'd be so happy to talk about anything, if there's any collaborations or anything. And I'd imagine this is going to be open sourced soon. I think it already is open source, I'm not too sure. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Andy.